Good afternoon, pickers, and welcome to my 26th tutorial for the guitar. I just want to talk briefly today about musical intervals, components of the musical scale, and how you can start training your ear to hear those intervals. One of my favorite movies is The Sound of Music, and there's a great scene in there where Maria is teaching the Von Trapp kids how to sing a scale and how to know the parts of a musical scale. And she refers to the scale with their Latin nicknames, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But what she's doing is teaching the kids a little bit of ear training and how those notes of the scale relate to each other and what the intervals are, the spaces between those notes are. And that becomes very important for you as a guitarist to be able to hear the spaces between notes. For example, there are 8 notes in a musical scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just doing a simple C major scale in this case. But it's very important as a guitarist that you are able to, at some point, identify the space between a C note, the first note of the scale, and an E note, the third note of a scale. Because major chords are built upon those intervals, a lot of melodies are, harmony singing is built upon those intervals. Also important to be able to hear the difference between the first note of the scale and the 5th note of the scale. For example, a C and a G. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, so, do. Just being able to hear the first note of the scale, the 3rd note of the scale, and the 5th note of the scale builds you a major chord, for example. And again, a lot of harmony singing, harmony playing is based upon those intervals. Of course, there are other components of the scale as well, but just again, being able to hear those intervals, or the interval between the first note of the scale and the 4th note of the scale, the perfect 4th. Do, re, mi, fa, do, fa, do, fa. That's that first note of the scale and the 4th note of the scale. Anyway, work a little bit with those scales, try to start hearing those intervals, and I promise you, in the end, it's going to make you a much better guitarist. In the meantime, happy picking.